Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivacharya, Sotara Divine Grace. A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai Vishnupad Srila Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Maharaj Thakur ki Jai Ananda Koti Vaishnava ki Jai Namacharya Haridas Thakur ki Jai Prem se kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vikinda ki Jai Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gopinath Sharma Kundarada ki Jai Sri Sri Radha Madhava ki Jai Sri Radha Shama Sundara ki Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai Gaura Premanandi. All glories to the assembly devotees. All glories to the assembly devotees. All glories to assembly devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Namaste Narasimhaya Prahlada Lada Daine Hiranya Kashipu Vakshaha Srilatankana Kalaye Ito Narsimha Parato Narsimha Yato Yato Yamitato Narsimha Bahir Narsimha Hridaya Narsimha Narsimhamadin Sharanam Prapadye Tava Kara Kamalavare Nakham Adbhuta Shringa Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanuvenga Keshavadita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jaya Narasimhadev, Jaya Narasimhadev, Jaya Narasimhadev, Jaya Narasimhadev. Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad. जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद नित्य हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल
Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. जय श्री नरसिंह भगवान की, श्री प्रहलाद महाराज की, श्रील प्रभुपाद की. Hare Krishna everyone, please be seated for announcement and then kids can go to different classroom. First of all, on behalf of our temple president Premananda Mataji and our founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada, I would like to welcome all of you on this Sunday fest. Is there anybody visiting first time? Anybody coming first time? Okay, so for all first timers, we have a small gift. When you walk out, there's a book table. Please collect your gift from there. All right? So thank you so much for coming, everyone. So now we go to the next part of program. The lecture, today's Katha, is given by Her Grace Premananda Mataji. I think she doesn't need much introduction, but in a very simple term, she is the source of inspiration of this ISKCON Naperville. She is also the temple president, in case you don't know. So let's hear from Premananda Mataji. I think the topic is very nice and intense. So let's pay attention. So all Mataji ladies, please turn this side. Or Prabhus, please come forward. Kids, you can go to your classrooms if you like. Right? So please.
जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज जय गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय गोपीजन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदनंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदनंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Radha Madhava, Radha Madhava, Radha Madhava, Radhe, Jaya Radha Madhava, Radha Madhava, Radha Madhava, Radhe, Jaya Radha Shyama Sundar, Radha Shyama Sundar, Radha Shyama Sundar, Radhe, Jaya Radha Shyama Sundar, Radha Shyama Sundar, Radha Shyama Sundar, Radhe, Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Om Atnanatimirandhasya Atnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadadi Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yudapadakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatantvidam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahidam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpade Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostude Tapta Kanjana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchat Kalpataro Bhayascha Kripa Sindhobhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Matsamo nasti papatma naparadhina kaschana parihare pilajjame kim bhruve purushottama. Bhumau skalita padanam bhumir eva avalambanam tvai radha paradhanam tvam eva sharanam prabho. Yuvatinam yatha yoni yunam cha yuvatau yatha mano abhiramate tadvan mano me ramatam tvai. Govinda vallabhe radhe prarthayirtvam aham sada tvadiyam idi janatu govindo mam tvaya saha. Radhe Vrindavanadishe Karunamridavahini Kripaya Nijapadabja Dasyam Mahyam Pradiyatam. Bhajami Radham Aravindanetram Smarami Radham Madhurasmidasyam Vadami Radham Karunabharadram Tadho Mama Nasti Madirna Kapi. Hare Krishna, welcome to all of you to ISKCON Naperville. I will begin today's class with a statement that I recently heard from His Holiness Romapada Swami Maharaj. He said that we are the architects of our own destiny. We are the architects of our own destiny. So there is a saying, I mean, this whole talk is based on that. There is a saying that what you sow, that you reap, that you shall reap. If you sow rice grains, you will get rice. If you sow wheat, you will get wheat. You cannot get something else. So we all have passed through many lifetimes, but it doesn't matter how many lifetimes we have passed through. What matters the most is what we are doing in this lifetime. That is the most important thing. But even to understand what we should be doing in this lifetime, we need guidance. And we can take lessons from saintly devotees who have lived their life in such a way that they set such great examples for us. So Srimad Bhagavatam, which is known as the Amala Purana, the spotless Purana, is full of examples of such saintly personalities, and we can learn a lot from them. So today, my intention is to discuss about the life of a great saintly person, Narada Muni. And Narada Muni is well known for his kirtan, glorifying the Supreme Lord Krishna. We Vaishnavas, we worship him because he is a perfect example of how one should worship Krishna, how one should glorify Krishna. But also, there are others, I'm sure most of you who have seen movies and all in India, you see that Narada Muni is sometimes shown as a mischievous person, and that character is presented like in a humorous way, and always engaged in meddling with the things and provoking fights between demons and demigods. This kind of a presentation is what most of us are used to. But Srimad Bhagavatam speaks something so different. You can see many great personalities are his disciples. For example, Prahlad Maharaj, Dhruva Maharaj, King Prashina Barhi, thousands of sons of Prajapatis, Prajapati Daksha. They are all his disciples. But also, you will see that he is the spiritual master of Valmiki and Mrigari, the hunter. So Valmiki and Mrigari, they both had a very sinful life to begin with. So what you are seeing is this saintly personality, Narada Muni, showering his blessings upon both saints and sinners alike. So that speaks volumes about his personality. So today, I'm going to speak from 7th canto Srimad Bhagavatam and also 1st canto, where there are verses particularly referring to Narada Muni's life and activity. And let us contemplate on his life and see what lessons we can learn from this. And that's why I chose today's topic as lessons and meditations in devotional life. Because lessons, you can study as many books as you want, but unless one introspect, nothing is going to change your life. And it is so very important for us to introspect, and there has to be an inner dialogue. If you don't have an inner dialogue, there is no point in doing anything else in life, particularly spiritual life. It doesn't go anywhere. So this great personality, Narada Muni, he knew, he had the ability to remember what was in his past life. He knew what was going on in his present life and what is going to happen in future. That's why he was known as a Trikalatna. And this particular capacity he got because of the extraordinary mercy given to him by the Supreme Lord Krishna. So he is well known for his travels across the galaxies, carrying the veena in his hand, musical instrument, and glorifying, singing Krishna's glories. And he also had a spiritual master by name Uluka. And there were two interesting instructions given to him by his spiritual master. First one was, when you sing about the glory of the Lord, do not be shy. Do not be shy when you are singing the glories of the Lord. The second one was, when you sing for Krishna, don't look at anyone else. Don't look at yourself. Don't look at your audience. Look only towards Krishna, so that your mind does not go anywhere else. This is something we all need to pay attention, because in Kirtan, this is always what happens is our eyes just wander. Who is doing what kind of clothes they are wearing, how do they look, or so many things. Everything comes to your mind other than Krishna. So this is two instructions he got from his spiritual master. And then Narada Muni wanted to hear further, and so he approached the Supreme Lord Krishna himself, and he said this is very sweet. He said, my dear Lord, you are like a swan who lives in the heart of the Brajabasis. A swan who glides over the azure lake. Azure means it is like a crystal clear blue colored lake. I think it is in Canada. And a swan going on a blue lake. How beautiful that is. So Narada was praising Krishna and said, so he requested Krishna, I have two desires. One is, first, I wish you empower me to allow me to wander everywhere, always chanting and drinking the nectar of your names. But I want to sing special kirtan for you. I want to sing those most sweet names that arise from the ocean of Gokula. Not any name, Krishna's name in Gokula. I want to talk to the people the way you dress and act in Vrindavan. And let me become like a madman and distribute joy to everyone. Let me preach the nectar of your holy names throughout the universe. And he said, I want to sing your names in Vrindavan. And he wanted to describe Krishna's form in Vrindavan, wearing a peacock feather on his hair and wearing a kadamba flower garland around his neck, holding a flute on his bimba red like lips. He wanted to glorify Krishna's lifting of Govardhan hill, jumping into Yamuna river from the Kadamba tree, and dancing on the hoods of Kaliya serpent. So an example of such a song is here. Here is a simple version of that. Sri Krishna Gopala Hare Mukunda Govinda He Nanda Kishora Krishna Ha Sri Yashoda Tanaya Prasida Shri Vallabhedi Vanaradhikesha. And I would like if you can chant after me, after I sing one line. Shri Krishna Govinda Hare Mukunda Krishna Govinda Hare Mukunda Govinda He Nanda Kishora Krishna Govinda He Nanda Kishora Krishna Ha Sri Yashoda Tanaya Prasida Ha Sri Yashoda Tanaya Prasida Shri Vallabhedi Vanaradhikesha Shri Vallabhedi Vanaradhikesha. O Shri Krishna, Gopala, O Mukunda, Govinda, Nanda Kishore, O darling son of Shri Yashoda, show me your favor. The life of the divine cowherd girls, O Lord of Shri Radhika. So Krishna granted Narada's desires. The Lord said, may you walk all over the planet chanting my holy names, and may you spread the glories of my personal abode Sri Vrindavan Dham. So, from Srimad Bhagavatam and other Vedic literatures, particularly from Srimad Bhagavatam, we have clear-cut information on the 3 lifetimes of Narada Muni. But there are other scriptures where there is more information about his previous lifetimes. But today, our focus is only on those 3 lifetimes. And I will begin by describing something that happened 2 lifetimes prior to Narada Muni became Narada Muni. So in that life, he was a Gandharva. And most of you know, Gandharvas are very well known for their beautiful looks, their ability to sing, and extraordinary talents, extraordinary talented personalities they are. So this Narada Muni was known by the name Upabarhana. And he was one of the leading Gandharvas, and everybody, even among the Gandharvas, people used to look at him, among themselves they look at him and appreciate him. And all ladies were very much impressed by him. They followed him wherever he went. And he was such a personality. But before I read from 7th canto, Srimad Bhagavatam, there's a book called Narada Pancharatra. And in Narada Pancharatra describes how Upabarhana left his body. He made a huge mistake in his life. And what he did was he understood that he made a mistake. So this is a great thing. To understand you made a mistake itself is a big thing. Many people go through life making mistakes and they never understand they made a mistake. But in the case of Upabarhana, he clearly understood he made a mistake. So then he realized, I am such a foolish person. We will talk about his mistake a little bit later. He recognized, he admitted, I am a foolish person. And I had a chance to glorify the Lord, and I misused that opportunity. And I used it to glorify myself. And I wanted to attract attention to myself. And therefore, I misbehaved. And so he decided, this is it, I don't want to live anymore. He went to a sacred river. He walked into the river carrying his veena in his hand. And what he did was he cried out to Lord Krishna. He said, "Oh my dear Lord Krishna, please save me. I was cursed to become a Shudra, a low-class person in my next birth because of the mistake I made. Please save me," Krishna, saying that he walked into the river and left his body. That's what happened to him as a Gandharva. So, I'm going to read something from 7th canto, few verse translations just very quickly. And in this 7th canto, you see Narada Muni speaking about his own life as a Gandharva. Narada Muni is remembering his life as the Gandharva. So I'm going to read only just the translations, except towards the end I will chant a verse. So Narada Muni is remembering this. He's saying, long, long ago, in another Mahakalpa, Mahakalpa means millennium of Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma's one day, the 4 yuga cycles repeat 1,000 times. That is a Mahakalpa, at the end of which Lord Brahma goes to sleep. Again, he wakes up and another 1,000 yuga cycles. So this was the previous day of Lord Brahma, and the Narada Muni is saying, I existed as the Gandharva known as Upabarhana. I was very respected by other Gandharvas. And then he continues, I had a beautiful face and a pleasing, attractive bodily structure, decorated with flower garlands and sandalwood pulp. I was most pleasing to the women of my city. Thus, I was bewildered, always feeling lusty desires. And Prabhupada writes in the purport, Upabarhana was Narada Muni's name previously. Upabarhana was specially expert in decorating himself to attract the attention of women, and thus he became a playboy. He became a playboy, as described in the following verse. So he used to decorate himself very nicely with the sandalwood paste and beautiful scent and flower garlands, and all the women were following him around. Imagine, that's not the worldly women. These, you are talking about Apsaras and all that kind of people, and ladies in the Gandharva planet. And they were much more beautiful than ordinary women in this earthly planet. They were all following him. I'm sure sometimes, anyway. So what happened was, once there was a Sankirtan festival to glorify the Supreme Lord in an assembly of demigods. And the Gandharvas and Apsaras were invited by the Prajapatis to take part in it. This tells us that the Sankirtan that we do here on the earthly planet, this is not exclusively only us we are doing. Even in the heavenly planet, they are doing Sankirtan. When you say Sankirtan, that means glorifying Krishna. That is the purpose of Sankirtan. Not glorifying anybody else, only Krishna. But what happened? The Gandharvas and Apsaras, they were all invited, and since Upabarhana was such a fancy person, he was also, naturally, he was a very special guest. Narada Muni continued, being invited to that festival, I also joined, and surrounded by women. I began musically singing the glories of the demigods. Because of this, the Prajapatis, the great demigods in charge of the affairs of the universe, forcefully cursed me with these words, because you have committed an offense, may you immediately become a Shudra, devoid of beauty. And that's how he became a Shudra, and he took birth in the womb of a maidservant in the next life. So now I'm going to switch. Before I go, I would mention one thing. He made the biggest mistake. The biggest mistake was he neglected glorifying Krishna in a Sankirtan festival, which was specifically meant for glorifying Krishna. That was the biggest mistake. Agree? This is meant for glorifying Krishna, and instead he went and glorified demigods. And first offense was that he went to this Sankirtan party accompanied by a group of lusty women. This is a big no-no. You cannot just take a bunch of ladies and walk into Lord's Sankirtan party. You cannot do that. And the second thing was, he considered ordinary songs equal to glorifying Krishna. So you cannot sing ordinary songs just as you would chant the Mahamantra. This was his biggest mistake, two biggest mistakes. And of course, he realized his mistake, and as a result, that's why he cried out to Krishna when he left his body in the sacred river. Now we will go to Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 6, and we will go to verse number 8. So here, Narada Muni, he has become a child. His mother was a working class lady, and he was born in that Shudra family, and he lived with the Brahmanas, and particularly at that time, there were Brahmanas traveling through that area as Chaturmasya period. They were very much focused on worshipping the Lord, and Narada Muni's mother was serving them. So we know this story quite a bit, but I'm going to just touch upon a few points here. So it is very well understood among devotee circles, this story, that Narada Muni's mother got bitten by a snake. She went to milk the cow in the night, and a snake bit her, and she passed away. Now, this is a very interesting verse. Next one. He said, I took this as the special mercy of the Lord, who always desires benediction for his devotees. And so thinking, I started for the north. Imagine a 5-year-old boy. His mother was bitten by a snake and she died. And what is he thinking? He's thinking, this is the special mercy of the Lord, who always desires benediction for his devotee. So he considered his mother's death as a great benediction. And he started traveling to the northern part of India. So, believe it or just to think about it. How is it possible? This child was totally dependent on his mother all this time. He considered the mother as his protector. And the mother is gone, 5-year-old child, and he is not disturbed. He's thinking this is special mercy. He started walking towards the north. And I will kind of shorten this whole thing. He went through many towns and villages, animal farms and agricultural land and gardens. He went through hills and mountains and reservoirs of water, and he went through mountains filled with gold and silver and copper and you name it. The little child, 5-year-old baby, walking through like this. Then he went through forests. Bamboo forests. Bamboo forests are very dangerous. They can have friction and there can be fire at any time. There was sharp grass, weeds and caves, and he says it was very difficult to go through alone. Can you imagine? That is putting it very mildly. 5-year-old boy saying it was very difficult to go through this place alone. And then he visited he's saying these forests were filled with snakes and owls and jackals and all of that. Finally, he was tired bodily and mentally. He was exhausted and he was drained. Finally, he came in contact with a river and he drank some water and nourished himself. And after that, he sat under a banyan tree and meditated upon the Supreme Lord who was seated within his heart, as guided to him by the saintly Brahmanas with whom, in whose residence his mother served. So he knew the technique of meditation. The word used here is Atmanatmanam Atmastam. Atmanatmanam Atmastam. The Lord who is seated within the heart, he meditated upon the Lord with full focus and attention, and without any delay, the Lord appeared in his heart and he got the darshan of the Lord. And it is stated here that he was overpowered by feelings of happiness and he had ecstatic symptoms in his body. And now here is an interesting verse. I'll chant this one, which is verse number 18. Rupam bhagavato yattan manakantam suchapaham apasyan sahasotase vaikalyad durmana iva. The transcendental form of the Lord as it is satisfies the mind's desires, at once erases all mental incongruities. Erases all mental incongruities. Upon losing that form, I suddenly got up, being perturbed as is usual when one loses that which is desirable. You know, mind can be your best friend and worst enemy. And what is stated here is, as soon as he saw the Lord, all his mind's desires were satisfied. And not only that, mind has this quality of being disturbed all the time. It wanders around. His mind calmed down and settled. But suddenly, the Lord disappeared. And he wanted to see that form of the Lord, but he couldn't see him anymore. He was aggravated. He tried to meditate again. Nothing happened. And then eventually the Lord spoke to him. He said to him, "O Narada, I regret that during this lifetime you will not be able to see me anymore. Those who are incomplete in service and who are not completely free from all material taints can hardly see me." Can you repeat after me? Those who are incomplete in service, who are not completely free from all material taints, can hardly see me. So now think about that. So then the Lord said to him that it is only to increase your desire that I appeared in front of you, because his mind got fully attracted to the form of Krishna when he saw him. And that is the reason why the Lord appeared in front of him. And the Narada Muni was somewhat satisfied after that, pacified, and the Lord assured him he will give him his association. And eventually, this is another important verse number 24. He says, intelligence engaged in my devotion cannot be thwarted at any time. Please repeat after me. Intelligence engaged in my devotion cannot be thwarted at any time. So that means if you are engaged in the service of the Lord, that intelligence will be very fixed. Interestingly, any number of lifetimes that Narada Muni had passed through, he was always a devotee. One way or other, he was always thinking of Krishna. However, he had his own deficiencies, his own distractions. One factor remains, that Narada Muni was a devotee, to begin with. But he had distractions. We all have distractions. So there is some similarity here. And it is said, the Lord is promising, even at the time of creation, as well as at the time of annihilation, your remembrance will continue by my mercy. This is the benediction given by the Lord. This is the extraordinary mercy of the Lord. The Lord is telling Narada Muni, even at the time of annihilation, you will never forget me. Please remember, this was Lord Brahma's previous lifetime, which was 1000 yuga cycles had gone through. At that lifetime, he was a Gandharva. And now he is Narada Muni. And at the end of one's life cycle, or at the end of Lord Brahma's day, all the souls, they enter the body of Vishnu in a dormant state. And once again, when Satya Yuga begins, we take birth, we accept different kind of bodies, and we are born again. And this cycle goes again and again and again. But you know what? We don't remember any of this. But Narada Muni was given this super special benediction that you will remember everything even at the time of annihilation. Now, you would think this is a great thing to remember, right? But let me finish. It's not a great thing to remember. But whether we remember or not, it doesn't matter. That's what it comes to. So I'm going to sing this one verse. This is the last one. What did he say? So, after not seeing the Lord disappeared, and then Narada Muni was content within himself. He continued his life, and this is what he did. Namanyanantasya hadatripapathan guhyani bhadrani kritani cha smaran gam paryatam stushta mana gadaspriha kalam pratikshan vimado vimatsara. Namanyanantasya hadattapapathan guhyani bhadrani kritani cha smaran gam paryatam stushta mana gataspriha kalam pratikshan vimado vimatsara. He said, thus I began chanting the holy name and fame of the Lord by repeated recitation, ignoring all the formalities of the material world. Such chanting and remembering of the transcendental pastimes of the Lord are benedictory. So doing, I traveled all over the earth, fully satisfied, humble, and unenvious. Please repeat after me. He chanted the name of the Lord by repeated recitation. And what else he did? He ignored the formalities of the material world. Ignoring the formalities of the material world. Repeat this a million times. Ignoring the formalities of the material world. That's a great thing to do. If we can do it, we have made some progress in our life. And now repeat after me. Traveled all over the earth, fully satisfied, humble, and unenvious. Traveled all over the world, fully satisfied, humble, and unenvious. Now, I'm going to say the last thing I have to say. So, unlike Narada Muni, this topic came up in the Srimad Bhagavatam class recently. Unlike Narada Muni, we don't remember anything because the Lord kindly reset our memories. Our memories are completely reset. And if you think that this is disadvantageous, think twice or 2 million times, think it is not disadvantageous. Because even if you knew who you were, even if you knew some part of your past life, you are not going to take that and it is not going to be of any use. You know why? Because you may address just, okay, I had this problem in my past life, I'll just take care of that. That's not how we should be living. We should have a comprehensive idea. We should have a overall understanding of what is the purpose of life. And each one of us are born with a different psychophysical nature based upon the many, many lifetimes through which we have passed through. Each one of you are very precious, very valuable. You have some contributions to make in this world, and that is unique to yourself. Even the most incompetent person has some unique contribution to make. So each one is an individual capable of making their own unique contributions. Please value yourself. And it's not going to help us in any way if we don't make conscious efforts to choose the path of bhakti. Everything else you can do, but choosing the path of bhakti is essential. Bhakti to Krishna is essential. Anything else that you do, it is not going to cut it. Now, all of this information is there in Srimad Bhagavatam. Why this is so essential? We all learn from experience because, from childhood we have all grown. Probably I am the oldest person here. Experience all of us have, but experience alone is not going to cut it. Experience that are reflected upon. You have good and bad experiences. You have to reflect upon your own experiences. And then some change will happen in your life. So we hear the importance of Shravanam, hearing. We all know importance of hearing, Krishna Katha. But we don't think much about contemplation, Mananam. Mananam is so important. Hearing is important. Contemplation is important. And therefore, anybody who wants to make any spiritual progress in life, anybody who wants to understand the meaning of life and death, we are all faced with these problems. Life and death. This is the reality staring on our face. All of us who are born are definitely going to die. We are going to leave this wonderful, amazing material world, even though there isn't anything to be so fantastically attached towards that. But we are very much attached to these worldly things, especially this phone. Even if somebody, before they think about sending a message, I have to answer that, That's this is called obsessive compulsive disease. So the point is that there is no point in spending our time on any of that, but take up the process of bhakti. I wanted to share with you a devotional presentation, particularly because Narada Muni is presented in many Indian movies and places like that as some kind of a jovial character. And he's not. He's a saintly personality. You saw the lessons that Srimad Bhagavatam is teaching us from his life. And so this PowerPoint, which is accompanied by singing, she's one of my favorite singers. Her name is Rasa. The Mataji, she used to live in Wisconsin. And can we just play that? And when that is getting played, please pay attention to the pictures on this display. Just think about Narada Muni and see how amazing he looks, how fantastic he is traveling through the galaxies, and what we have learned about him. Can you play? Increase the volume. Little more. Increase it. it's a highly meditative way Rasa sings this song, and this was written by Bhakti Vinod Thakur, who is the father of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, who is the spiritual master of Srila Prabhupada. And in this song, Bhakti Vinod Thakur is saying that when Narada Muni plays on his veena, Radhika Raman descends. And also, he describes further that Lord Shiva embraces Narada Muni, and Lord Ananta Shesha is chanting Hari Hari. And there is more details in this song. I just barely touching upon it. But you can see there is so much treasure in our Vaishnava teachings and Srimad Bhagavatam in particular. And I just humbly request all of you to take the best advantage of this treasure that is available to us and make your life perfect. And because your life matters, and this lifetime is more important than any other lifetime. So with that, if anybody has any questions or something, you can come to me later. If anybody want to talk about this, because I took an extra 5 minutes, I thought it was worth it for meditation purpose. So Shyam was going to chastise me, but I can. Sunday program. As you all know, Sunday program is we offer prayers to their lordships the whole day, starting from morning till night. All the offerings are made on your behalf, on the behalf of your family. So today, the Sunday program sponsorship is by Sanjeev Ranjan Prabhu and his family. They are seeking devotees' prayers and blessings for the onward spiritual journey of Sanjeev Ranjan Prabhu's wife, Kusum Ranjan, who left her body just very recently. And I have known this family through Shyam, actually. I think the family is here, and came to understand that they have gone through real pain in their heart so much. When someone who is near and dear to you depart from this material world, even though we know all the philosophy with regarding the eternal nature of the soul and the soul's journey, we are all quite familiar with that. There is no death to the soul lives eternally. And it is part and parcel of the Supreme Lord Krishna. And our prayers are always heard by the departed soul, and prayers are always heard by the Supreme Lord in guiding the journey of the soul. So those who are alive, you can do wonderful, fantastic service to the departed person by offering prayers. Sometimes even when we are all alive and we will be talking with each other, but nothing registers in the minds of people. I'll be saying something, you will be hearing something else. But the prayers that are offered in memory of the departed soul, our prayers should be, my dear Lord, please guide this departed soul in the right direction so that the soul can reach your lotus feet. And this can be done by family members, friends, and everybody else. It was some reason today I happen to be speaking in this temple. Since we opened it is almost 4 months, and I happened to pick this topic about Narada Muni's past lives. So I just wanted to offer my heartfelt condolences, knowing this family, what they are going through, and we will continue to pray for the departed soul. And if there is any family members here, please come forward and receive this prasadam from us. And I hope in today's class, it is of some benefit to you to practice what you should do in your life, and may Krishna bless you. I know you are going through a lot of pain, recognize that very much, but continue praying that you can do, and I'm sure your mother will hear that without fail. Krishna will hear that. We will do the same. Thank you so much, Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you, but we are continuing to pray. So please, all of you, keep this family in your heart, and they are going through real hard times. And today is actually Julan Yatra beginning for next few days. This is the time when we put Radha and Krishna on the Julan and serve them by singing and fanning them, and they are so pleased by the service that the devotees are offering. So you all have the opportunity to swing Radha and Krishna when you are doing that, and when you are taking darshan of their deities. Please pray for this family who is suffering a lot. Sunday feast is sponsored by 3 families, and this is Dev Iyer and Dev Iyer and family. They have been sponsoring Sunday feast almost every month, and for few years in fact. And today they are celebrating their daughter Tanya's birthday, and if Dev Iyer Prabhu is here, he is not here. Okay. Then Mayank Malik and family, along with his mother Kanchan Malik and family, are sponsoring this feast in remembrance of his father, late Sunil Malik, and also seeking prayers and blessings of all devotees and Shri Shri Radha Shyamasundar for them. So I think Mayank is here. Yes, please. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much. I need a little help from you. I'll talk to you in a minute. As I mentioned in my class, that undertaking the bhakti process, how you want to choosing, how you want to live your life. I will end with this statement, what Maharaj said, you are the architect of your own life. Please don't forget that. So how do you navigate through this lifetime is by taking to the process of bhakti towards Krishna. And that begins with chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. If anybody wants any guidance, any help in learning how to chant, approach any one of the devotees. There are so many standing here. They will be more than happy to help you. I will be more than happy to help you. So let us chant the holy names of Krishna. You please repeat after me. This is for the spiritual benefit of all the families who have sponsored today's program, Sunday feast as well as Sunday program. Please chant after me. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Hare Hare,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Rama Rama,
Rama Rama,
Hare Hare.
Hare Hare.
If you desire to sponsor Sunday feast or Sunday program, please contact Shyam Prabhu or Abhay Prabhu over there. I think Ramdas Prabhu is also there. Thank you all. If anybody has any questions or comments, you can talk to me directly. I am available. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
There are a couple of brief announcements, so please. You go ahead. Go ahead. Okay. Janmashtami, you want to say something? Sangeeta Mata, you want to say? So, Hare Krishna, you know, Janmashtami is coming. It's on date? September, and it's on Wednesday. So please mark your calendar for 2 things. One, obviously, is the Janmashtami. It's the biggest celebration for us. And also, it's the biggest service opportunities. You can work day before to entire week. This festival, we celebrate on 6th here, but continues until the weekend. On Saturdays also, we have celebration. And next day to Janmashtami, in case you don't know, I think most of you know, His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada, it is his birthday, we call Vyas Puja in ISKCON. So that happened very next day to Janmashtami. So we celebrate in a very, very opulent way. So you can see the beauty of ISKCON, beauty of our prayers on the next day. So take time off, take days off for 2 things, for service and also be part of this festival. All right. So please, Wednesday, 6th, September 6th, program starts from evening 5 o'clock, goes until midnight, and then again starts in the morning next day for Vyas Puja, that is on Thursday, and then continues until Saturday. Right. So plenty of opportunities. What was anything else for Vyas Puja? Oh, sorry, you gave me the phone. Sorry. I kept my phone. All right, so while I am also announcing, this is also a great opportunity for everyone to participate in making some offerings. So you can do, there are varieties of offerings. The flyer is already called out in the flyers, but the one that always gets high demand and we always run out of supply is Midnight Aarti. So Midnight Aarti, every devotees want to do, but what happens every time devotees come late to ask for the sponsorship. So my request to all of you, please take this opportunity. This is the first time in this temple on a Janmashtami we will be doing Midnight Aarti, and it will be very, very opulent. So please sign up for that. Likewise, Abhisekam. So Kalas Abhisekam is very traditional way of celebrating Janmashtami. And this is another opportunity that you with your family have an opportunity to offer kalas to Radha Syam Sundar and his deity. So these are the two opportunities for sponsorship. There are many other opportunities. Please look outside the flyer and also sign up for the days. So there is a small announcement. I will just read it. Along with Janmashtami, we have another amazing festival coming, the Srila Prabhupada Vyas Puja, which I said the day after Janmashtami, from 10 a.m. onwards. It's one of the wonderful opportunity for us to have to cook and bring something for Srila Prabhupada on a very special day. We are planning to have 151 offering this year, and we will distribute containers to bring the offerings. Tables are downstairs, so if you are inspired, please take something and do that. Here's the beautiful thing, you can cook. It's on the book table downstairs. Please take the container, and you can cook, you can bring, if not cut fruits, you can buy dry fruits, but they will tell you, but definitely take this opportunity to offer to Srila Prabhupada that day. And there are some restrictions, what to cook, what not to cook, so they will guide you, but all fruits are welcome, or other things, nuts are welcome, right? So with that, today it's Ekadasi, right? So prasadam is Ekadasi prasadam, so please honor. Also, we have a guest from Sanjeev Ranjan's and family here, so please be mindful, let them have the priority first in the darshan line as well as in the prasadam line. And after the prasadam, there is a kirtan that starts at from 7 to 7:30. That will be dedicated for Kusum Kumari and family, and Sanjeev and family for them. So please stay for the kirtan if you can, and that's how the program will be. So with that, I request all of you, please make a line and take the blessings of Sri Radha Syam Sundar and honor wonderful prasadam. Thank you. Hare Krishna.